Hello everybody and welcome back to the Indoor Farmer. It's your host Waylon McAbee. Once again, I'm here giving you guys a little bit of an update on what's going on in my system. So as you can see here, it's still just my my little 10-gallon that actually is working up and running. So I want to make this less mundane by breaking up the episodes and more of a rotation going between the three major projects that I'm working on. The one project being the small little the starter set that is actually still producing. As you can see behind me, you have the lettuce still going right now, and I mean that's great and all, but I'm still limited. There's a lot of things limiting me right now. I'm limited by amount of fish I can have. I'm limited by that which creates a nutrients limitation. But this episode is also a little bit about the issue I had between the two. So to give a little setup, when I first started thinking about farming and getting into the background of what happens to a lot of veterans when they get home, they decide to go farming because they know they can do something that's all on them. It's all self sacrifice, and if you don't work, you don't eat, kind of thing. So when I looked into it, I thought that'd be really cool. But then it was, years before I had space and extra money to throw around where I thought I could justify spending money on even this little starter setup here. I thought, well, I would need more money. I have to wait until I have more money, more than what I actually needed to get going. And so then I get into it, and now I have this one system that works, and I'm not going to let it go. I'm not going to stop using it. It works. Why not? So I can use that as a testing facility. I can put things in there to see if it grows. I have a lot of stuff I've learned from it already. And what you're looking at here is the first time that I tried to grow multiple different kinds of seeds. So the lettuce was going just fine. I mean, you saw from episode 1 where the lettuce was just taking off. I mean, I didn't have to have it in any little cups like this. But when I got these cups, I decided to try different seeds. And one big error I made, which I thought, I don't know, at the time I thought, well, we'll just wait until these seeds grow and you'll be able to tell what the plant is. Well, a lot of the seeds didn't grow, and I didn't label or pay attention to what was where. And for a while I thought I knew what was where, but it didn't stick. So it ended up that most of these things didn't even start to seed, or start to germinate. But of course the lettuce did, and then as you'll see, the mint, which I showed a little bit of in the first episode, I had mustard seeds, I had spinach, I had what was the other? Lavender and basil was the last one, and almost none of them worked, and I think I know why, and that is because the pump in the tank here pumps the water up to the center right here where my mouse is, and so that's really the concentration of where the nutrients starts to convert into nitrites and nitrates, and then going out from there is where you'll get the least of it. So I accidentally planted the mint right here, which I didn't know much about mint, and I'll be honest, I don't plan to do a ton of research until it's necessary, if that makes sense. I plan on just kind of sort of winging it, sort of experimenting, sort of just getting my feet wet, and it's sort of a lot of instinct. I feel like it'd be like most farmers, or like maybe a chef, where he doesn't need to measure things anymore because he sort of just knows what's going on. And that can kind of come over time, over experience, over different types of different size setups. And I don't know what, research would be always correct. There's a lot of different ways to go about different things. And especially in the indoor farming, I mean, there's so many different setups and types of rigs and different equipment that can be used. But it's all sort of still a general idea of a circle of life and the all enclosed nutrients. So let's just keep going here a little bit. you'll see how this started to work out. A few things started to pop up, and then as soon as that mint took off, so you see this I think this was the mustard, and as soon as it sprouted, it started to die, and I don't know what happened there. And this was spinach. It actually looked like it was going to go pretty well. This is where I decided, okay, I'm just going to buy a potato from the store. Just a random potato, and I just sat it on top there. Kind of sunk it in just a little bit to where it was touching some of the water. And you'll see what happened. I mean, I think I showed a couple of pictures about this on my first episode, but just barely touched on it. I have a lot more in this one. Let's see. Of course, the lettuce always goes quick. But then, you know, the potato, you can start to see it sprouting there. And people told me after the fact that you should cut it up into a bunch of pieces, and each one of those pieces would grow, which is good to know. And I did end up doing that. But at first, I just thought, hey, let's see what happens, you know. And so you'll see how there's 4 right now. I thought, oh, that's pretty good. That's not bad. I had no idea that they should grow, you know, 10 to 12. So here you see that I started cutting them up and spreading them out, and they still ended up all starting off. Let's see. Yeah, so it went so wild that I had nothing that I could use to hold it up. And all I was doing was taking a little cup of water out of here, maybe once every couple of days, and pouring it into this trough that has dirt in it, which made it need a little bit less of the nutrients probably, but it probably added as like a fertilizer or an extra boost, and it just made it shoot up. But I think some of that reasoning too is because of how far away the light is from where they were growing. That could easily make them have to shoot further away, but they still had enough to keep going, evidently. Yeah, it just went nuts. Insane. Look at that. It's like 3 feet long. As you can see, it starts dying off, and the mustard died off. The other things, lavender, didn't even start up. But I think it's because the mint just sucked up all the juice. I mean, it took a while for that mint to get going, and I thought, oh, that's cool, it's going. And then it just went nuts and took over. It took away all the nutrients. I think it's too close to the center, and I'm pretty sure I showed some pictures, maybe 1 or 2 pictures on episode 1, where the roots were just going crazy. I'll show you those again here. Yeah, there's the mint, and then the spinach just dying off. It wasn't too dry. I mean, it's sitting in the water, and it's not dry in the room either. Okay. This next little bit here, I'm going to talk about the some of the issues I had. I put this fish tank on a filing cabinet, and I kept noticing some water down here, and I thought the fish tank had a leak in it, or that the splashing from the water coming from the grow tub down into the tank was just coming out. But then eventually it just got so bad, and you'll see here I had some cardboard there to try to catch the moisture, but it was still just rusting underneath. So what I did was I actually had a secondary set of all the pieces that I'm required to do this 10-gallon setup, and that was thanks to Amazon, because they did not ship me the 10-gallon fish tank. And when I sent in that I didn't get my whole order, and I explained the fish tank, they then, instead of sending me a fish tank, which I didn't actually need, I had a couple already here, they sent me a whole other set for the grow bed and all of that, which included the stents here to hold up the light, and the tray, the pump, all of that, and the rocks. And luckily, I needed that because I didn't set up 2 setups, which would have been nice. But one of the pumps actually went bad on me fairly early on, before I even did this move here. But anyway, so I had to switch the pump, and that happened earlier. And then, since I was getting this filing cabinet all rusty and just destroyed, I decided I had to move it and get it off of there. Well, the best way to do that is just to transfer everything into another tank. And so then I set everything up, and I added this breeding tank here, which I was hoping would help me get my guppies to breed, which for some reason they're not breeding, and most people tell you they breed like crazy. So the second time, so you'll notice a few things different. When I set it up the second time, I didn't have the gravel. I don't have the gravel filter. I did keep their little house to hide in there. You know, so they just have, and now it's actually on a aquarium holder, which gives it plenty of room. So what I don't know if I said this yet, but what I think happened is that the condensation was actually getting the filing cabinet too wet underneath, because the fish tank is not fully flat on there, and also you know, just the moisture in the cold metal. So definitely made it pretty rough all the way across. But this is nice that I was able to switch it all over. Yeah, see, so this is the old one. So I took out the gravel filter, the gravel, all that. I don't need any of that. So I still have all this sitting in this tank. But then I had to move all the stuff, and by this time I took everything else out that wasn't growing. So the lettuce and the mint was all that was going on. And I'm pretty sure I showed more of this later. Yeah. So you'll see the roots of the lettuce. I mean, they grow so fast that even though it's not as invasive of a species, it's still going to soak up a lot of the nutrients that's happening. So I got to worry about how much I grow, or maybe I need to actually next time grow not lettuce and grow something else only, and try one thing at a time slowly and see what's going on, because I actually need to get more fish as well. So there you go. So that is crazy, how the amount of roots that takes over with the mint is what this is. I didn't even really have a reason to grow mint. I just thought I would grow it. Thought it maybe would smell better, make the nasty fish smell better. But nope, it didn't help. So then I had to frantically move all this over. I had a video of me moving everything over, like in a frantic, you know, rush, because I was worried that the fish might not have enough oxygen while they was hanging out waiting, because the pump was off, because I had to switch the pumps, and so it was pretty funny. It was a little bit like I Love Lucy. I just thought I would make it like a sped up, you know, what do you call it, time lapse of it, but I don't know where it went. So oh well. So what you're seeing here is when I moved everything over, I went ahead and started over, and I decided to grow. In the back row is all spinach, and in this front row is all lettuce. And you'll see why that again was a failure in a moment here. But the sponges, I ran out of the sponges, so then I decided I took a piece of paper, toilet paper, or no, paper towel roll, and cut it up, and I put pieces of it in each one of these baskets, and then put clay pebbles in there, and then use that to hold the seeds. And so that worked out okay. A little improvised decision there. And you can see back there that spinach just shot up. Just one of them. It just went crazy, and the rest of them didn't do anything this entire time. Yeah, so then I moved that spinach that was working at the end over to the center, and it, you know, I thought maybe, hey, that'll take up some nutrients that's right where it's coming from, the main source, and that didn't actually end up helping, because you see how much lettuce was going crazy, and I'm sure it took up all the nutrients. I mean, that's my assumption. And here is the one cup that had the one spinach that actually grew, and it was only a half of a sponge that I used. And you see this like green muck there. I don't know what that is. It's just plant matter, or maybe just this system needs cleaned more often. I don't know. Or maybe that's the good stuff. Maybe that's the good plant juice. I don't know. It doesn't look good. And then this basil, or this spinach. Okay, so yeah, the roots of the spinach is so small. Like, there's no way that can compete with those big bushy roots of the lettuce. I can't imagine. And then you see these spots on here, on the spinach here. I don't know if that's similar to the lettuce that I have issues with sometimes. I don't know if that's a disease. I mean, I think it's just a nutrients issue. So I only have 3 fish left, and I need to get some more in there. So yeah, as you can see, the lettuce just kept going. I took the spinach out, just left it out because it's gone. But then I have this little plant here, which I have no idea what it is. My neighbor gave it to me while she was on vacation, and I thought, yeah, I'll just set her in there and give it a shot of fish water every now and then. It's not actually in the water; it's sitting in this dish. And the thing just, you'll see here, it just went insane within a couple of days. This might be my last picture of it. Let's see. Yeah, I started to wrap it around. We don't even know what it is, and I'm not even that worried about finding out what it is. But it's cool. It's just a little, like a house plant. I told her that it was a Venus flytrap, and it's gonna say "Feed me, Seymour" real soon here. But anyway, this is something I'm gonna do as I go forward. I'm gonna try to rotate, like I said early on. I'm gonna rotate through episodes and as separate different projects, and this project clearly is technically working. If you want to count me able to eat the lettuce, that's great, but there's a lot more I think it can provide. I can do something else. I think I want to get rid of the lettuce, try something else next time, maybe just straight spinach next time, because I really think spinach would be great to grow too. It's got a lot of nutrients to it. And or maybe broccoli, microgreens, and anything. Sky's the limit, really. But it's just the fact that I think I'm running out low on fish, and I need more. Probably get. I want to maybe almost overpopulate it, like maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 actually, because you can take into account the water that's up in the basin and the water that's flowing through it as a higher volume than a 10-gallon. And that's one thing. I never had an aquarium. I never had fish. A lot of people I do know that have fish don't actually do any farming. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be great if these people that are into fish and aquariums and have been doing it for years could just add on something like this, something that just pops on top of the fish tank that's already there. I mean, I'm building something different back here, something bigger, something more complicated, but it's basically just a larger version of that. So anyway, in conclusion, I feel like the best way to move forward in the indoor farming is going to be, scientifically and yes, research, but the problem is a lot of it is unknown still. A lot of people are doing things with this that are previously thought unavailable or something that you couldn't do before. So I'm interested in proving some things wrong and some things right. I want to try all sorts of weird, interesting things indoors. I mean, I want to try to grow stuff that can only grow in certain types of climates. I mean, so there's a lot of ideas in the future, but I also want to, as I get bigger, I want to continue to have separate systems, and that way you can try something different in each one, and you can record what works and what doesn't work, and you can sort of get that experience faster because you still have to wait for things to grow. So if you have separate systems, then you can maybe see what happens. So that's all what I'm looking at in the future here. So let's see, I think that's about it for the episode. Yeah, that is it. So let me know what you think. I think I'm going to start putting these on YouTube, and the editing process has gotten better, and it will continue to get better. And I know that's not my main concern, but this show does keep me on track and keeps me moving forward. So I appreciate any feedback. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time.